Welcome to Course 3, Module 5, Chapter 10, where we explore how circular economy principles can be advanced through effective policy, practical implementation, and robust measurement. The circular economy is not just a theoretical concept, it's a transformative approach that aims to minimize waste, maximize resource reuse, and design products for longevity and recovery. Achieving this vision requires more than innovative businesses. It demands coordinated efforts from governments, organizations, and communities. In this chapter, we'll examine the essential role of policy frameworks, financial incentives, voluntary industry initiatives, and measurement tools in driving the transition to a circular economy. You'll learn how regulatory tools like extended producer responsibility, EPR, legislative bans, and green public procurement, GPP, set the foundation for change, while financial mechanisms and voluntary actions accelerate adoption. We'll also discuss how cities and regions act as innovation labs, and why measuring progress is crucial for continuous improvement. In this chapter, we will explore the key building blocks for advancing the circular economy. First, we'll look at regulatory tools that set the legal and structural foundation, such as extended producer responsibility and legislative bans. Next, we'll discuss green public procurement and how the public sector can leverage its purchasing power to promote sustainable products and services. We'll then examine financial incentives and market-based mechanisms, including innovation grants, tax breaks, and deposit refund schemes, which make circular practices more attractive and viable. Voluntary tools and industry-led initiatives, such as eco-labeling and business accelerators, will be covered to show how businesses can drive change beyond regulation. We'll also highlight localized strategies, focusing on how cities and regions act as innovation labs for circular solutions. Finally, we'll address how to measure progress and evaluate impact, and discuss the importance of balancing policy approaches for a sustainable future. This comprehensive overview will equip you with the knowledge to understand and apply circular economy principles in diverse contexts. Regulatory tools for advancing the circular economy. Extended producer responsibility, EPR, is a cornerstone of circular economy policy. It requires producers to take responsibility for the end-of-life management of their products, either physically or financially. The main objective is to incentivize companies to reduce waste and design products that are easier to recycle or reuse. By holding producers accountable, EPR encourages innovation in product design and waste management, shifting the burden from consumers and governments to those who create the products. This principle is widely adopted in Europe and beyond, with countries implementing EPR schemes for various product categories, including electronics, vehicles, and packaging. EPR not only supports environmental goals but also fosters collaboration between producers, recyclers, and policymakers. Understanding EPR is essential for grasping how regulatory tools can drive systemic change in the circular economy. This concept is also central to answering 1100 questions about regulatory mechanisms and their impact on sustainability. France's overhaul of its extended producer responsibility system for end-of-life vehicles, ELVs, in 2024 provides a practical example of how policy reforms can advance circular economy goals. Under new regulations, all ELV operators must join an approved eco-organization or establish their own system, covering cars, vans, motorcycles, and quadricycles. The system features two models. The Recyclement Véhicule (RMV) eco-organization, backed by major manufacturers, and individual company-run recycling systems. RMV focuses on recycling low-value materials and mandates the reuse of spare parts, while individual systems face challenges such as transparency issues and higher transport costs. The government has called for better coordination and digital reporting platforms to ensure fair competition and efficient recycling. These reforms aim to boost sustainability, improve recycling rates, and create a level playing field in the ELV sector. This case study illustrates how EPR can be tailored to specific industries and highlights the importance of policy design in achieving circular outcomes. Legislative bans and material restrictions are powerful tools for driving market change in the circular economy. By prohibiting the use of certain harmful materials or products, governments compel industries to innovate and adopt safer, more sustainable alternatives. These bans act decisively, forcing rapid adaptation and fostering the development of greener products and technologies. For example, the EU Single-Use Plastics Directive has led to the elimination of items like plastic straws and cutlery, prompting companies to invest in biodegradable materials and reusable packaging. Material restrictions also encourage industries to rethink supply chains and product design, aligning business practices with environmental goals. While sometimes viewed as blunt instruments, legislative bans are effective in accelerating the transition to circular models and reducing pollution. Understanding these regulatory approaches is crucial for evaluating how policy can shape market behavior and support sustainable development. The EU Single-Use Plastics Directive, effective since 2021, exemplifies the impact of legislative bans on advancing the circular economy. This directive prohibits the sale of single-use plastic items such as straws, cutlery, and cotton buds, aiming to reduce plastic waste and pollution. In addition to bans, the directive introduces labeling requirements to help consumers identify sustainable alternatives and make informed choices. The policy has spurred innovation across Europe, with companies developing biodegradable materials and reusable packaging systems. By eliminating single-use plastics, the directive not only addresses environmental concerns but also encourages the adoption of circular practices throughout the supply chain. This approach demonstrates how targeted regulation can drive significant market shifts, promote sustainable consumption, and support broader circular economy objectives. The directive's success highlights the importance of combining regulatory action with consumer education and industry innovation. Green public procurement. Leveraging public sector influence. Green public procurement, GPP, is a strategic tool that leverages the purchasing power of public authorities to promote environmentally friendly products and services. Italy's mandatory GPP framework, established by Legislative Decree 50/2016, requires all public contracts to apply minimum environmental criteria, CAM, across 11 product categories, including construction, cleaning, furnishings, and transport. By integrating environmental considerations into procurement processes, GPP sends strong signals to the market, encouraging companies to align their offerings with sustainability standards. This approach not only reduces environmental impact but also fosters eco-innovation and supports the growth of green industries. Public authorities play a crucial role in shaping demand and setting benchmarks for sustainable practices. Italy's experience demonstrates how mandatory GPP can drive systemic change, making sustainability a core criterion in public sector decision-making and procurement. Understanding GPP is essential for evaluating how policy can influence market behavior and support circular economy goals. Green public procurement, GPP, goes beyond basic purchasing by integrating environmental criteria and financial incentives throughout the procurement lifecycle. In Italy, CAMs, minimum environmental criteria, defined by the Ministry of Ecological Transition, must be included in tender specifications and evaluation criteria, ensuring that sustainability is prioritized in every contract. Companies that comply with CAM and hold environmental certifications, such as ISO 14001 or EU Ecolabel, benefit from financial incentives like reduced guarantee amounts. The procurement process also values the economically most advantageous offer, which considers life cycle costs, energy use, maintenance, and environmental externalities, not just price. This holistic approach encourages companies to innovate and invest in sustainable solutions, making green products and services more competitive. By aligning financial incentives with environmental standards, GPP helps drive the adoption of circular practices and supports the transition to a more sustainable economy. Financial incentives and market-based mechanisms. Financial incentives and market-based mechanisms are essential for encouraging the adoption of circular economy practices. Innovation grants and pilot programs play a critical role in supporting early-stage businesses that explore circular models, which often require significant upfront investment and carry higher risks. Finland's Sitra Innovation Fund is a leading example, providing funding for diverse pilot projects such as textile recycling, bioplastics development, and sharing economy platforms. These grants help demonstrate the viability of circular solutions, reduce financial barriers, and encourage broader industry adoption. By supporting innovation, governments can accelerate the transition to circular models and foster a culture of experimentation and learning. Financial incentives not only make circular practices more attractive but also help build the foundation for long-term sustainability and competitiveness. Understanding the role of grants and pilot programs is key to appreciating how financial tools can drive systemic change in the circular economy. Tax breaks and deductions are effective financial tools for promoting circular economy activities such as repair, reuse, and recycling. Sweden's repair tax credit, introduced in 2017, is a notable example. The policy reduced the value-added tax, VAT, on repairs of everyday items like clothing, bicycles, and shoes from 25% to 12%, and allowed consumers to claim back 50% of labor costs for repairs of large household appliances through income tax deductions. These measures address the common issue of high repair costs, which often lead consumers to discard broken items instead of fixing them. By making repairs more affordable, the policy encourages sustainable consumption, reduces waste, lowers emissions, and creates new job opportunities, especially for individuals without formal education. Sweden's approach demonstrates how targeted tax incentives can shift consumer behavior, support the repair industry, and contribute to broader circular economy objectives. Deposit refund schemes and take-back programs provide financial incentives for consumers to return products at the end of their life cycle, supporting recycling and responsible disposal. Germany's PFAN system is one of the most successful bottle deposit programs globally, achieving high return rates and inspiring similar initiatives across Europe and beyond. Under the PFAN system, consumers pay a deposit when purchasing bottles and receive a refund upon returning them for recycling. This approach not only reduces waste but also promotes resource recovery and environmental stewardship. Deposit refund schemes are effective in changing consumer behavior, encouraging participation in recycling programs, and supporting the development of circular supply chains. Germany's experience highlights the potential of financial incentives to drive sustainable practices and demonstrates how well-designed programs can contribute to the success of the circular economy. Voluntary tools and industry-led initiatives. Voluntary tools and industry-led initiatives are vital for advancing the circular economy beyond regulation. Eco-labeling and certification build consumer trust by signaling that products meet high environmental standards, encouraging greener purchasing choices. Certifications like cradle-to-cradle assess products based on material health, recyclability, water stewardship, renewable energy use, and social fairness, while the EU ecolabel is widely recognized across Europe for certifying products with reduced environmental impacts. These labels help consumers make informed decisions and support companies committed to sustainability. Voluntary adoption of circular strategies is often driven by customer demand, corporate social responsibility, and long-term risk mitigation. Eco-labels and certifications not only differentiate products in the market but also promote transparency and accountability. Understanding these voluntary tools is essential for recognizing how businesses can lead the transition to circular models and foster a culture of sustainability. Circular business accelerators play a crucial role in scaling innovative solutions and integrating startups into real supply chains. These programs connect entrepreneurs with mentors, investors, and partners, providing access to funding, corporate networks, and expert guidance. Circular Valley in Germany is a leading example, supporting startups in material science, logistics, and data tracking. By fostering collaboration and offering resources, accelerators help businesses develop and implement circular solutions effectively. Industry-led initiatives like these drive the adoption of circular practices, promote sustainable business models, and encourage experimentation. Accelerators also facilitate knowledge sharing and partnership building, which are essential for overcoming barriers and achieving systemic change. Understanding the role of business accelerators highlights the importance of voluntary action and industry leadership in advancing the circular economy and creating opportunities for innovation and growth. Localized strategies. Cities and regions as innovation labs. Cities and regions serve as innovation labs for circular economy strategies, leveraging their high population density and material throughput to test and implement policies at scale. Amsterdam's Circular Strategy 2020 to 2025 targets 3 key value chains: construction, biomass and food, and consumer goods. The city employs digital platforms to monitor material flows in buildings, improving reuse and recycling efficiency. Financial incentives support circular construction practices, encouraging the use of sustainable materials and designs that enable easy disassembly and reuse. Zero-waste neighborhoods promote recycling, composting, and sustainable consumption patterns among residents. These localized strategies demonstrate how urban areas can drive innovation, foster community engagement, and implement circular principles effectively. Amsterdam's approach serves as a model for other cities, showing how targeted interventions and collaborative efforts can transform urban environments and accelerate the transition to a circular economy. Eco-industrial parks exemplify how collaborative approaches can advance the circular economy by co-locating industries to share resources and reduce waste. Kalundborg Symbiosis in Denmark is a pioneering example, established in the 1970s, where companies such as power plants, oil refineries, and pharmaceutical firms form mutually beneficial relationships. Waste products from one company become raw materials for another, minimizing the need for virgin resources and reducing overall waste. Excess heat from industrial processes is reused by neighboring facilities, enhancing energy efficiency and lowering emissions. This symbiotic relationship not only conserves resources but also promotes sustainability and economic resilience. Kalundborg's success has inspired similar initiatives worldwide, demonstrating the potential of eco-industrial parks to drive systemic change and support the transition to circular models. Understanding these localized strategies is key to appreciating how collaboration and resource sharing can create sustainable industrial ecosystems. Measuring progress and evaluating impact. Measuring progress and evaluating impact are essential for ensuring that circular economy initiatives achieve their intended outcomes and adapt to changing contexts. Key circularity metrics provide a quantitative basis for assessing effectiveness. The Material Circularity Indicator, MCI, developed by the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, measures the extent to which linear flows are minimized and restorative flows maximized. Resource productivity evaluates economic output relative to material consumption, indicating how efficiently resources are used. Waste recovery rates track the proportion of waste reintroduced into production cycles, while reuse and remanufacturing volumes highlight the effectiveness of circular practices in extending product life cycles. Continuous measurement enables policymakers and stakeholders to identify areas for improvement, make informed decisions, and drive progress towards sustainability. Understanding these metrics is crucial for evaluating circular economy performance and answering 1100 questions related to measurement and impact. Life cycle assessments, LCAs, are comprehensive evaluations that quantify the environmental impact of products or systems throughout their entire life cycle, from raw material extraction to disposal. LCAs provide valuable insights into environmental performance, helping policymakers make informed decisions about bans, subsidies, and labeling requirements. By identifying the stages with the highest environmental impact, LCAs enable targeted interventions to reduce overall footprints. These assessments support the development of more sustainable products and processes, guiding regulatory and voluntary actions in the circular economy. LCAs are widely used in policy design, industry innovation, and consumer education, ensuring that environmental considerations are integrated into decision-making. Understanding LCAs is essential for appreciating how measurement tools can inform policy, drive continuous improvement, and support the transition to circular models. National circularity dashboards offer a holistic view of a country's circular economy performance by compiling key metrics and indicators. The Circularity Gap Report, published annually, provides country-level assessments, identifying gaps and progress in circularity. These dashboards and reports are crucial for continuous measurement and evaluation, enabling policymakers to track progress, identify areas needing improvement, and refine strategies. By providing comprehensive data, dashboards support transparency, accountability, and informed decision-making. Continuous evaluation drives improvements, fosters collaboration, and ensures that circular economy initiatives remain effective and responsive to changing contexts. Understanding the role of national dashboards and reports is vital for recognizing how measurement frameworks contribute to the success of circular policies and support the transition to a more sustainable future. Balancing policy approaches for a sustainable future. Governments play a pivotal role in crafting policies and incentives that drive systemic change toward a sustainable circular economy. Success lies in balancing regulation and innovation, incentives and accountability, and ambition and practical action. Regulations provide the necessary structure for change, while innovation fuels the development of new solutions that meet sustainability goals. Financial incentives encourage the adoption of circular practices but must be reinforced with accountability measures to ensure lasting impact. Ambitious targets inspire progress, yet they must be grounded in practical actions such as pilot programs and inclusive stakeholder engagement. When these elements are integrated effectively, circular policies become powerful tools for environmental protection, social equity, and economic resilience. They address ecological challenges and create opportunities for a more inclusive and sustainable future. Understanding how to balance these approaches is essential for designing effective policy frameworks and advancing the circular economy. Advancing the circular economy requires coordinated efforts across policies, practices, and measurement tools. By leveraging regulatory measures, public procurement, financial incentives, voluntary initiatives, and robust metrics, we can drive sustainable change and create a resilient future. This was our last chapter in Course 3. Thank you very much for your attention throughout this course.